If the world was ending tomorrow, how prepared would you be today? My major is Homeland Security and Emergency Management, and we've been discussing a lot about emergencies. So I thought I would talk to you guys today about how to create your own disaster kit. There are many important aspects of creating a disaster kit. The most important is to identify what you need, then to find what you need, then to store it properly, and finally to identify the emergency procedures for your area. So the first and most important is to actually identify what you need. And this should be based off of the amount of people you have, elderly, infants, children, all that kind of stuff, pets, your location. But the items that almost everybody's going to need is first water. The golden rule is 1 gallon per person per day. You should always account for 3 days. Also, you'll need non-perishable food. Power bars, MREs, beef jerky are all common, easy to handle, non-perishable food. You'll also need a battery-powered radio. And it's important it's battery-powered because you will most likely lose electric. So you also need to have extra batteries and flashlights. You should also have a first aid kit, a local map, a whistle in case you need to signal for help, identification, and cash. Some additional items typically recommended too are dust masks, some type of plastic bag for sanitation, prescription medication or glasses, infant formula if needed, leashes if needed, and any food and water for your pets. You also need sleeping bags, a change of clothes, matches, and personal hygiene supplies. So, extra things that I like to keep in mind that isn't typically recommended. I also have a CPR mask. I am CPR certified, and I also have the infant size mask in here as well. I also like to keep hand warmers, and I also have an emergency blanket. I also like to keep a fire starter. I prefer this over matches because matches will run out eventually. This never really will run out. And if it gets wet, it's not totally useless. It won't really get ruined. So that's reliable. I also have a compass, and I have a knife that has a glass breaker on the end. So the second step is how to actually find what you need. Most of the items that I suggested and listed for you can be found at any grocery store, pharmacy, gas station, any place like that really. All the items should be kept together, not just scattered around your house or your car. And it also needs to be stored properly. That's a really big one because if it's not stored properly, it won't be any use. Anything that could be soiled needs to be kept in plastic bags and should always be kept with like items. And I actually like the Magpul DACA pouch, and it's actually fully waterproof, and it's more heavy duty and durable than just a plastic bag because it won't rip. And it's also textured, so if your hands are slippery, you won't drop it. So I like to suggest that for your personal identification and cash. That way, that's like extra protected. And the last step is to find and create your emergency procedures. So for those, you can typically find the formal guidelines through your local emergency management agency. For us here in Delaware, that would be DEMA, the Delaware Emergency Management Agency. And they actually will have evacuation routes, whether to shelter in place, all of that kind of stuff. It will all be online on their website. But you should also have some kind of family procedure also. So if you ever get separated for any reason, you'll have a safe place to go meet. It should be within a mile, a public place that you can get to. It should be some kind of shelter in case of bad weather, storms, anything like that, really. So there are many important aspects of creating a disaster kit. It does not only include just tossing some stuff into a bag and leaving it in your closet. To effectively create a disaster kit, You must first identify the needs of you and your dependents, find what you need, then store it properly, and you must find or create emergency procedures for your area. There's not a way to prevent natural disasters, and there never will be, but it's our responsibility to prepare for them.